Hi everybody, got another build for you. This is the Tele Clone version 2.0. A couple months back, had a small fire here at the shop, and a few of the guitars here took some damage. This Tele here, it took some heat damage to the clear coat. Guitar number 3 got a bit charred on the headstock, and if you look over here, you can see what happened to the harp guitar. It also took a little bit of heat damage to the clear coat, so it's also going to need to be refinished. But now this particular one here, I had issues. If you go back and look at the video on the original version of this guitar, I had issues with routing and such and alignment of the parts in the kit, and so it was already slated for me to go back and fix it up straight. So what I did is I went ahead and everything that wasn't stained, I sanded it all back down, even the fretboard, and I re-clear coated the whole darn thing in order to fix the finish. And on the front, I sanded down the headstock clear coat just a little bit, just sort of scuffed it up and then re-squirted it. But I didn't use my new mirror polish finish technique on it, so it's still not quite all that. On the body, all I did is I just cleaned it up really good with like naphtha and stuff like that, and then gave it a nice wax job. It's not bad, so they could all be better. The new polish system works way better than the surface on this guitar is right now. But anyway, yeah, so let's see, as far as adjustments went, had to relocate the nut both in direction up and down and in height in order to get everything straight for the intonation. That apparently is what was throwing off the intonation. I was using a fret template guide, one of those acrylic ones. I won't say where I got it from, but it seemed to actually be off when I was measuring stuff. I thought there was something wrong with my necks, and it turned out to be the fret template guide, because I got online, I looked it up, and I double checked it against, you know, the measurements that the fret calculators came up with. And the thing wasn't, it was like, it started at this end, it was good, and as it got down to this end, the template was like off by an entire fret width of jumbo frets worth width. So, but anyway, yeah, so this thing here, that I ended up getting like a StewMac and got everything straight, got that thing where it's supposed to be. You need to be careful when you're doing these roller nuts, because the place where the actual intonation point is, you know, it's more or less along this, I don't even know this camera will pick it up. Light's not that good, but there's a little, there you go. You see it right there, that's the roller axle. That little silver part in the middle, that's the roller axle for all these little rollers. And that's actually your intonation point, is the top of that axle and the top of the rollers. So that's what you need to match up with the nut line, which means the nut actually needs to go forward of where a normal plastic nut or bone nut or whatever would go. And then up at this end, the bridge actually had to be moved. Which way? Bridge just moved back a little bit, as I recall. Yeah, bridge just moved back a little bit, and that got things more lined up. Everything's more or less lining up more now the way it should correctly, as far as like the bridge and the control plate and pickguard and stuff. There's the spot here where originally things were not lining up, and I'd had to clearance that in order to get it to tuck up under the neck, but things are better now, so everything's straight. Intonation is all absolutely spot on now, perfect. Everything's nice and within adjustment range. Nothing's like, you know, way at the front edge or crammed all the way back or having to take springs out or anything like that. And found out that the reason why it's 3 and then compensated 3 more this way instead of just being 6 across is because of wound versus unwound strings, apparently. Heard that from Scar Building. But anyway, yeah, they were saying don't mix wound and unwound because then you can't just use a straight bridge. But anyway, yeah, so the bridge is all straightened out. I set the action on it these days. To set the action, I'll just set the entire fretboard flat, and then I'll use a feeler gauge and come in at the 24th and go for like 1mm clearance. Adjust the saddle, set the intonation, then adjust the pickups, bring them up to the correct height for the sweet spot, and then adjust them bass to treble so that they're equal volume on each pickup, and then adjust the 2 pickups heights, the whole thing, so that the neck and the bridge are at the same volume relatively. I mean, one's going to have more treble, one's going to have more bass, but you try to get it so that overall they're kind of close, or as close as you can get them. And you end up with, it's really jacked up on the treble side and down on the bass, actually on both of them. And the bridge is actually a little higher, maybe a millimeter higher than the neck is. And it balances out pretty much perfectly now. So yeah, this thing's all nice and straight. Everything's working correctly now. So yeah, it's a real guitar now, finally. One thing I might do is I might actually put a locking nut on it though. Maybe, I don't know. It's something to do. It's you know, you can take that much out of the equation as far as like tuning stability goes. So, but anyway, that's the Tele Clone version 2.0. Everybody have a good one. See you later.